So you might be wondering, what does this guy on the internet know what he's talking about when he says he can help you make amazing friends? I've spent 4 years, not on purpose, but like subconsciously, all I've been doing is trying to make better friends. And then a year ago, or 2 years ago, when I started my channel, that's when I took it even more seriously and I started learning as much as possible about this topic. So fast forward to now, I've made this great group of friends that I always wanted. People who I individually really respect and who are also fun to be around, who make you feel good about yourself, who you can trust. And that is an amazing feeling, I promise you. So why do we even want this so badly? Like why do I even need great friends? The thing is, this last Friday, my friend came over to my house and we ended up cooking for a bit. And before that, we'd gone ice bath, sauna. We were hanging out for like 3 hours, laughing the whole time. And I turned to him randomly and I'm like, bro, you realize, this was a locked in night? We ate clean foods, like pretty much protein only, good for the gym, and we went to the sauna and ice bath. We did some recovery, and we didn't stay up late. So I said to him, like, bro, this was so much fun. Like, how could this be us locking in? That's when I realized, like, how fucking good it is when you finally make those good friends where you have that special connection with. You can literally just sit together and you'll be laughing over the dumbest shit for hours. Like, my mom literally thought I was high, even though I was just having such a good time. Promise you, it's a worthwhile pursuit. Now, you might not be this close with somebody already because of a lack of respect. Now, let me explain that. When I was about 13 years old, I was playing basketball with my friend, and he, like, basically just kept taking the piss out of me and wouldn't pass me the ball. And I remember this one time, I ended up, like, getting upset at him, and I was being a fucking bitch, but I went over to the PE stands, and by myself, I was, like, quietly crying. I didn't really want anyone to notice. But when he noticed, he didn't come up to me. I remember it took until like a few hours later where even I went up to say sorry to him for something he was in the wrong. He was being a dickhead. And then I went and said sorry to him. And what he ended up doing is he would say, oh no, you know what, I'm sorry too, because he felt bad. But the thing is, there was no respect in that friendship. Obviously, we were young and being like fucking morons, right? But the thing is, also the sliding is cool. The thing is that every single time I would do that, I would lose respect from him, and he wouldn't treat me the same. Now, you might be wondering, like, you're not the coolest guy in school, or, you're not filthy rich, you're not famous. How are you going to get this, like, cool level of respect? There's two things. The first thing that every guy should be doing, bro, just go to the gym. Every guy respects that, bro. I respect that. Any guy who's in the gym, I respect you already. But then the thing where you can get like a really good level of connection and respect is when you have a similar goal. Now, specifically, I remember when I was in school and I met this guy at the lunch table and I told him about my YouTube channel. I was like, yo, that's sick, Like, I've got my own entrepreneur thing going. And we were discussing that. And when we were discussing that, we became so much closer, We were talking about the entrepreneur dream. We want to do all of this. School's fucking shit. And you don't have to agree with everything I say, but we bonded a lot over that and we became very close. And the thing is, in this like culture of, guys who want to be an entrepreneur, or even if you just tell somebody else who wants to be an entrepreneur, like, oh yeah, being an entrepreneur would be nice, then you're meeting like-minded people, and it's usually this group of people who have like a similar personality and similar like beliefs, and so that's why it's so easy to bond with them. Or if I've seen this with a lot of guys who play rugby. They are super close with their team. Like, they all respect each other quite a bit. Obviously, if you're gonna let yourself get ran over and like be treated like shit, people are gonna do it. Unfortunately, that's human nature. But what's it called? If if you stand up for yourself, the boys in your team are usually gonna treat you really well, and that's how you can. Once you have that respect, then you can start like trying to meet people, and they give you so much more time a day. This is like eucalyptus, by the way. I just have like a really blocked nose. But you might be wondering, like, is it even worth the time? And I'm gonna explain to you when it is. What exactly you need to know about your friends before you like spend a lot of time, getting closer. And you don't need to necessarily think about it the whole time, like, or exactly how you're gonna get closer with somebody. But the general idea of when you meet somebody, you're like, oh, I really like this guy's traits, his personality, these things, and I might want to get closer with him because of that. So at one point, this guy on the left is extremely hardworking, by the way. He was doing like borderline some Kobe style basketball training, like every day, always training. Like he became one of the most unathletic kids in our year to being super athletic. He's going to be successful. I know that. But that was one thing that I really liked about him. He was super hardworking. Although, even though we were very close and we were like we could get along really well, our relationship didn't get to like the next level until I actually coached him on his social skills. Now this might be like a weird thing, you don't do this with your friends, but it was unique because I was doing some social skills coaching and I wanted testimonials of like people that I've helped. I wanted some experience with actually doing it to know like so that I could show people online when I've got my course in the link in the description showing like, oh, I can help you make better friends. Like I know what I'm speaking about. And he ended up like genuinely changing as like overall as a person. He's borderline more social than me. Like this guy's the most fun guy that I ever go out with, and I love him to death. He's one of my closest friends. But that made me think, as long as your friend is like hardworking, just ignore the fact that maybe they don't have perfect social skills. You don't want somebody who can't talk to you, but like if they can talk to you but they're not as social with like new people, all that means is that you need to share with them like your experience making better friends, like the lessons you've learned, or they need to watch my fucking YouTube channel, right? So don't, if somebody is just like a little bit boring to be around, but like when you get really close with them, or if you're already really close with them, oh yeah, that's an interesting point. You don't know if they're going to be fun once you get close with them, but most people are 1,000 times more comfortable with their good mates than other people. So just like observe, oh, is he more like talkative when he's with his friends? Does he ever come out of his shell? Because sometimes I saw with this one girl in one of my classes, she said nothing for like a year, and then one class she was in a really good mood and she was speaking to everybody, and then she said nothing for a year again. I'm 100% sure if I was close to her, we would have like a great conversation, because if she would become like more relaxed around me, then maybe we would have become good friends. But you need to spend a lot of time getting closer to somebody before they're going to show you that side of their personality all the time. So I wouldn't like, the problem is, I don't really like people who don't have a personality because what are you going to do? They don't say anything, they don't try and start convos with you. But if they're trying and you respect them, then maybe you can like put up with it a little bit and try and like help them along it. And sometimes it's not even a bad thing. If somebody's less social than you, it just makes you feel better about yourself occasionally. Although nowadays I am mainly friends with like very social people, but I promise you, if you're with them and you're the social guy, you can like lead the path. You just need to make sure that they're willing to do that, to put in the effort if they had the opportunity to be very social. And the only way to know that is to know if they're like hardworking on the things that matter to them, like lifting weights or going to the gym or basketball. And then that's when you can tell, oh, if this guy's disciplined or not. My friend who I got closer to in Australia, I fucking love this guy, right? But we don't have so much in common apart from going to the gym together. And he lives in Australia. So it's a pretty simple equation. If I wasn't so close with him, I probably, I probably still would have gone close to him because I really like him. But I don't think that, like, if I wasn't close to this guy at all, and I hardly had ever spoken to him, then I don't think that that is the best time to like spend all your effort building an amazing, amazing friendship. Like, yeah, you should always be very nice to everybody, have many conversations, set up hangouts, but I wouldn't be like trying to become best mates with somebody I know that I'm not going to live in the same place as for the next few years, and with somebody who I don't have like that much in common with. See, the thing is, the only thing we had in common was that we went to the gym and that we had had like a few like vaguely similar social experiences, mainly like dating experiences with a girl, and we would like relate over that. And don't get me wrong, I will be friends with this guy for a long time, but I'm saying, think smart. You're my viewer, you're not me. You don't have to do everything like how I did it. Don't always feel the need to be best mates with everybody. You know, you should have some self-respect and a little bit of comfort to be alone rather than being with friends who you don't have similar values with or who you don't enjoy your time with. Like sometimes you genuinely need to be like relaxed in who you are. You know, you need to be uncomfortable like, "Oh, I kind of want to make more friends." And put in the effort, but you don't want to be needy, like begging people to be your friend. Like that's weird, you know? There's this weird thing that happens when you're meeting somebody new. It's like both of you are pretending you're fucking like really cool dudes. And then as you get closer, you know, you start to open up and you bond a little bit more and you have some like what's the word? You have some deep moments, some authentic moments, vulnerable moments, and then you guys trust each other a lot more and you build this great friendship. That's usually how it goes. You know, you open up when you're like after you're hanging out for a bit over small things, you don't want to push it. And that is usually like how I've become closer with a lot of my friends. It's like we're going and we're hanging out in a group, or my friends introduce me, or I've met him somewhere, and then I invite him, come gym with me, let's go sauna after, maybe grab some food, and then usually, like, I think what's happened from the times that I've done that in the past, I don't do this on purpose entirely, but I'll be in the gym, we'll be chatting about some stuff, asking about their life, and then by the time we're in the sauna, we're already like flowing decently well because I've been working on my social skills for a while, and we'll be having enough of a chat for me to say like, what do you think about this? This deep kind of deep thing is happening in my life. Or a lot of the time you can kind of just like jump to it if you have enough respect. Now this is an interesting point. If somebody really fucking respects you, they think like, yo, this guy's. If you're jacked, you like 90% of the time get away with this. If you are fucking massive, benched 150 kilos, and then you say to somebody like, yo, bro, I can't lie, I'm super insecure, they're gonna want to help you a lot. Like, they're really gonna want to help you. They're gonna put in effort trying to be close with you, like, understand what's going on, and they're not gonna think you're weird for opening up. But if you're like this skinny, like, this is unfortunately human nature. If you're like this skinny weird kid from school, you know, you can't really talk to anybody, you got no social skills, which, you know, everybody can improve, but like that archetype of a person, then people give you so much less leeway. Like halo effect is a real thing, but I don't think it works in the exact way people think. Halo effect is if you're good looking, people treat you better. I don't quite agree. I think it's if people, especially for guys, if people see that you know you're in good physical shape, they give you automatic respect. I don't think there's a halo effect. I think there's a good physical shape automatic respect correlation or some shit like that connection. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I fully lost my train of thought there, but try and be vulnerable with people. Only oh yeah, if you feel like you're quite a well respected guy, then you can be quicker like opening up to people. But most of the time, if you open up a little with somebody who's a good bloke, you know, you don't just trauma dump, but you like slowly open up. You share some interesting experiences. You ask them for their opinion. Then usually they're gonna fuck with that heavy, and like you're gonna get so much closer. Not because like you've done any trick on them or you've done anything weird, but just because you know now both of you have opened up and you can like only when you open up can somebody else open up as well. Like you need to be the first guy to say like, "Oh, this event was hard for me." And then I remember I was talking about my parents' relationship with a friend once in a weird way, you know, not necessarily like I'm not opening up to the YouTube channel, bro. But I was speaking about them, and then my other friend, he was like, "Oh yeah, and this is how my parents' relationship is similar." Not that anything bad's going on with my parents, but you know, you get the gist of you get the analogy, right? You want to make sure, last little point, when you're meeting friends, you want to make sure they have kindness and integrity. I feel like that's the most simple shit ever, bro. Yeah, is he nice to you? Is he nice to people? Oh, especially, is he nice to people who are below him? Does he snake his friends? Does he have loyalty? You want to make sure he has, like, good loyalty. He doesn't treat people below him like shit. I mean, every now and then when I'm with my boys, I remember when I was getting treated like pretty badly at school. Every now and then when I'm with the boys, I might do something questionable, like a bit of a dick move, but it's never anything bad. It's like a dick move to me, you know? And because I know that I'm super kind to everybody. And so when I'm like a little bit cold shoulder to one guy or like I'm a bit rude to some guy or I make a joke in front of all the boys about some guy, I feel quite bad. But, you know, in general, like if a guy's treating everybody quite with like quite a bit of kindness, then you know that's good like base for making a good friend. So, here, wait. Okay. What do you want to do? No. What do you need to do? Okay. What you need to do is, I kind of just spoke about this, but when I was with my friend, I remember I was speaking about how my dad didn't respond to my messages, and he always responds. And I was telling him, and he started opening up like, "Yeah, bro. To be honest, I'm not even that close with my dad." Now you probably have no idea who I'm speaking about. It's not the guy in the photo, but this guy is one of my like genuinely good friends, and the thing that I like about him so much, he's so chill, he's so like comfortable sharing things. He's never judging you, and you want to have that exact same like energy going through your daily life. You just want to be like super fucking chill. You don't judge anybody. You understand everybody has hardships in their life and hard things going on. And if you do that, you're gonna end up being a guy who people want to come towards you just to genuinely get like. You see, the thing is, you want to have your own value. All right. This links into my next point. You want to be the guy who people can come to for emotional comfort. If you want to look at it like really logically, or like really like sadistically, you want to give them value of emotional comfort, boost their mood after they hang out with you. And the last point, bro, this guy, the way that I got close to one of my really good friends, he's not in the photo either, but I met him in the gym and I really respected him. But the reason we got so close was, oh shit, my battery's about to die. The reason we got so close was because I invited him on a night out with me after we'd gone to the gym together. So make sure you go around, you talk to people, not without social intelligence. Don't be too pushy, but talk to as many people as possible. Start the intention. Be authentic. Like when the time is right, I'll open up on this more in other videos. But for now, oh fuck!